Welcome guys to ARMA Philippines. Now I will be teaching you how to have a basic loadout for the Rifleman. So we would go to the arsenal. At All Out Warfare, the arsenal is usually shown as a notice board in the base, but depending on your mission maker, objects may be used as an arsenal, such as ammo trucks, or maybe this pole can be set into an arsenal. So click on this notice board, we'll click on virtual arsenal. On the left hand corner you will see all the types of items that you can use. So now I have my basic loadout as a UN member here. On my headgear I have a backpack, I am wearing a vest, and I'm using an army uniform. Okay, first things first, we would get ourselves a rifle. We will be using for the purpose of this tutorial a simple M4. Now that we have an M4, you would see here on the right hand corner of the screen your attachments. So okay, you can attach sights, rail attachments. This is usually used for night ops, so that you'll be able to use lasers, laser pointers, or flashlights. Muzzle attachments for flash suppressors or silencers, sound suppressors, and bipods. Now I will get myself a P99 handgun. Attach a sound suppressor, and there. During operations, it is usually required to have sound suppressors in your guns, because most operations would be required to be silent. Next up, we would go to our uniform. In the uniform, we usually put our personal items and basic items. So first, we'll go to miscellaneous items. Look for cable ties. We would get at least 3 or 5 cable ties. And if needed, or required by the mission maker, we will be bringing 1 or 2 body bags. Next up, we will be bringing earplugs. Usually you would only need 1, but most likely if some new players are playing with you, you can bring 2. So if ever they need an earplug, you can give 1 earplug to them. Next is the IR strobe. The IR strobe is used during night operations. If required by the mission maker, you would bring 1 or 2 depending on what the mission maker says or your team leader says. But for the purpose of this tutorial, we will only bring 1 IR strobe. IR strobe is used so that your friendly forces, friendly team would be able to see you during the night. Next up is the mag light. You'll bring mag lights, and this is used for map reading. You would need the mag light so that during the night you would only see pitch black, but if you have a mag light, you can enable this mag light, turn it on, and it will be used as a sort of flashlight to be able to see what you want to see in the map. That's it on the uniform. So uniforms, you usually place your personal items in the uniform. Next is the vest. In the vest is where we place our magazines. So we are using a M4 which requires 5.56 ammo. So basic loadout would require at least 8 or 10 magazines. Because our UN uniform doesn't have a huge load space, I'll just take 4. So now that we have our magazines, we will go to uh, our grenades. Usually requires at least 2 or 3 smoke grenades and 1 or 2 colored smoke grenades. So I would only get 1 or 2. If you still have space, usually if you were using a vest which has load carrying capacity, you'll be carrying at least 3 frag grenades and 3 stun grenades. Next up, on the backpack, I usually place my medic gear here. So I will put at least 20 bandages. 20 bandages basic. So bandage elastic and bandage basic usually do the same thing. So we just used the basic bandages. Next up, morphine. Morphine at auto injector at least 20. Okay, so we still have space for a backpack since we don't have enough space in the vest for our magazines and grenades. We would carry more mags for our M4 and get ourselves some grenades and stun grenades. And maybe let's get some color grenades. Alright, now you're ready. Next up, let's make sure that we have our basic gear such as night visions if we are using night ops. In ARMA Philippines, we are only allowed to bring night vision goggles. So we will be only using AN PVS night vision goggles. Okay, now that we have, let's check if we have ourselves binoculars, a map, terminal. Usually terminals are set as empty, and depending on the mission maker, usually a mission maker would request only team leaders would have GPS. For the purpose of this tutorial, we would get ourselves our GPS. Next is communications. We will get ourselves an AN-PRC 152 for our basic loadout as a rifleman. Next, navigation. Don't forget your compass and a watch. Okay, we're all set. Now we are on our basic rifleman loadout. We will press I and check our weight. Our weight should not go over 35 kilograms. If you are over 35 kilograms, take time to sort out your equipments and remove some unnecessary equipments. Now that you're done and less than 35, click save so that you can save your loadout. I'll name this UN. So every time that you go back to the arsenal, you can just quickly load it and you have your equipment back. Press escape and we are now ready to fight.